Okay, now chat, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you and let me make a YouTube video here. So we have a full-on, basically rework of the build here. So this is my favorite build in the game, Mercenary main, and we're using Herald of Ice, obviously, Cold Infusion, Elemental, and Biting Frost. Unfortunately, I will say I'm not a Gemling, I'm Witch Hunter. I need to get my Gemling higher level, and then I probably will convert him either to this build of, Ice Mercenary, but I'm also trying out Explosive Shot Mercenary too, seeing how that one goes. Frag rounds I have on basically to just blow up my Glacial Bolt walls. But I think in the end, maybe Glacial Bolt is not the way to go. There are some kind of clunky things that come with Glacial Bolt. Right now I have Scatter Shot, Glaciation, Primal Armament, and Ice Bite from it. So I do kind of want to get to Permafrost Bolts because I have Cast on Freeze. Cast on Freeze is kind of like the new main trigger for this build. So it switched over from like a full-on Glacial Bolt and the Herald of Ice, and that's kind of all I had. Now I'm thinking about using Permafrost Bolt to freeze everything, and then Cast on Freeze just double comment it, you know? Impetus, obviously, to get more energy faster. But for right now, this is kind of what I'm running on my Permafrost Bolt, which does... It freezes almost everything. Like, it freezes very, very well, and the only issue right now that I have from being not a super high level is that Cast on Freeze does not trigger too quickly. So Glacial Bolt, for now, is triggering Cast on Freeze a lot better, just because it can freeze and it does explode like a whole pack of mobs very, very quickly. So because it can freeze more than one mob at a time, that's kind of why I'm running Glacial Bolt. But if I can get Cast on Freeze to occur basically every time I freeze something, then Permafrost Bolt is kind of the way to go, because it only can freeze one thing, but it freezes it like very, very efficiently. You can see the 80% freeze buildup from this ability here. Grim Feast also used to get more energy. More energy shield. So energy shield for better defense here. It's very, very nice to run through maps and get that. Hypothermia is for using on bosses. Obviously, bosses will have 35% cold resist reduced, which is absolutely amazing. And I have exposure applied. I believe that also works for this, because I believe this is... I think Curse is considered an exposure, or is it just considered a reduce of their resistance? I don't actually know, but I think that should work. Not 100% sure. Definitely let me know in the comments if I'm totally wrong. Skill effect duration. I want this to last kind of as long as it can. Curse duration to last longer. Wind Dancer, because I had an extra 30 spirit from one of my vests. I believe it's armor. I just have Wind Dancer on to get more evasion. Obviously, more defense was kind of like the big thing that I needed for this build. Artillery Ballista is great too, because this can shoot bosses. It can shoot mobs from far away. I can spam 2 of them, and I can have it regen mana as well as I'm casting the or as I'm proccing the Cast on Freeze. You know, mana can be a little bit of a at a premium there. Kind of spoke about fragmentation rounds there. Herald of Ice obviously is a huge thing. In this build, you can see the damage is absolutely insane that Herald of Ice brings out, and it's so overpowered. I wish the other heralds were buffed to this herald, because this is like the only herald that people really use, which is, I don't know, kind of sad that the other ones are useless. Now for kind of the gear I'm running here, mostly the same with I think the crossbow is the same that I had from before. Obviously focusing on physical damage with cold damage. And so attack speed's also one other thing that I do want to increase. Obviously, if you can get the attack speed prefix or suffix down here, that's fantastic. I also was given this helmet here, which is absolutely insane with chaos resist. It's corrupted. Also getting max life is extra, max shield. So shout out Iceman for this, and shout out Iceman for the idea on this build too. Definitely gonna be working on it, grinding it, and gonna see where it can take us. See how far it can take me as well if I'm starting to switch a couple things up. Because I know for right now, Glacial Bolt is my bread and butter, and I've fallen in love with that ability. So with the code here, that this gives me lightning, fire, cold resist, amulet as well. You can check this out. So that's why this gives me a ton of spirit. This gives me spirit as well. So that's why I just have so much spirit to use. I can just slot random things in. I'm like, oh, that's nice to use. The rest of these are just basically focused on resistances, and then move speed as well. This belt is insanely nice to use with this flask right here. So this unique flask is pretty crazy. 25% of current mana as chaos damage to you when the effect ends. So that's not the best thing in the world, but every 3 seconds during the effect, you deal 50% mana spent in those seconds as chaos damage to enemies. So this does a ton of mana. Also utilizes unreserved mana. So this is a huge upgrade for my flask there. But you can see, here's my resistances for these. I'd say it's pretty solid for right now. Huge focus on intelligence. Obviously, intelligence will give mana, and then dexterity will give the accuracy here. Strength gives better life, but not too much of a focus on the strength here. I definitely want the focus on intelligence just because of the tree. So like I said before, I'm rocking Witch Hunter. I also need to, dude, I can't find anything to let me ascend. I might have to go buy something on the market to go ascend because I literally just can't find anything. And so a lot of the focus has been on, intelligence, moving things all the way down, getting more attributes, socketing some really good jewels. Obviously focus on your cold damage here. Getting into damage with the crossbow, and then straight up just like moving all the way around just to focus on cold damage. So this is pretty crazy. Like freeze buildup and cold damage is what I'm really focusing on. All cold damage here. You have to basically go into, I believe this is Sork. I think it's sorcerers, mages, into more cold damage. So it's just a full-on cold damage. You don't really need to worry about the cold resist and like penetrating cold resist. If you do need that, you can just use the hypothermia. So that's why it's like you don't need to use that because you have an ability that will literally just do that for you. Everything else is focused on just increasing elemental damage, cold damage, freeze buildup as well, because obviously you want to be freezing as much as you can to proc cast on freeze. I do want to make my way down. I might try out this tree right here and just see how well this works. Because if you increase the damage with hits against enemies that are affected by ailments, so I'm thinking if you freeze something, especially if it's like a boss or something like that, then you're going to be dealing a lot more damage, as well as increasing the chance to freeze, Then I want to work down into more elemental damage here. Increasing cold damage, increasing freeze buildup is absolutely insane. So definitely we'll keep sliding down into this area right here. And then as I get higher levels as well, I'm only level 74. The cast on freeze will be able to proc more often. And that's kind of what I'm planning on, just destroying whole entire maps with it. And then seeing how well boss fights go with that. For right now, I know, where is it? Cast on freeze, basically it's just like a level 16. So definitely can have some improvements, and I do want double comments, because I want to pump out the most damage as I possibly can. So that's the build for right now. That's the update, and I'll let you guys know next time things change, and if I can actually switch over from my Witch Hunter into a Gemling. and get my explosive shot jumbling to this level. If explosive shot jumbling can't get to this level, then I might have to switch my explosive shot jumbling over to freeze, because this build so far has been very satisfying, very fun, and I'll show you guys a map that I'm going to be running here. So catch you in the next video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and any build improvements, any build ideas. I definitely love to hear it, and I do try them out. And I'm having really fun going back to like the ice build that I first started with this game. I'm actually kind of curious what your first build was as well, chat. So let me know what your first build was. If you were mercenary, if you were monk, if you're warrior. And yeah, I'll see you. Alright, chat. I'm gonna try to show you guys kind of how the build works. Glacial Bolt's still like the main thing that I'm using for right now, but I'll show you where I want to get to, because I want Cast on Freeze to proc every time. So I definitely want to get there. For right now, here's the issue. So it freezes everything, it blows everything up, which is fantastic. This is very nice. Very, very nice. Sometimes I have to throw that in there, and then you can see Cast on Freeze is working. It's doing its thing. I don't know why the hell my game is completely glitched out like this, but whatever, dude. Like, this is actually pretty crazy how bugged it is. So there's Cast on Freeze. Fantastic, boys. That's what we're going for. The only issue is that with Permafrost Bolt, it only freezes one thing at a time, so Cast on Freeze barely ever occurs. You know, it shows up very, very infrequently. Which is what I'm not going for. I want this to always proc. Missed. Whatever. So then I can do this, boom, do that, and then shoot him down. There's that, which is fantastic. So the Glacial Walls also will proc freeze. So that's why Glacial Bolt, I think, is very, very nice in this situation. I can just keep spamming it, as long as I hit my targets. Freezing everything. And then just go about my day, you know? Go about my day. Boom. Boom. Frozen. 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 And so there's a guy dead. There's another gold mob dead. But with Permafrost Bolt, as you can see, frozen, 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 frozen. You're only doing one at a time. So it finally blew stuff up with the Cast on Freeze, but it takes too long. I have to pop a potion. As you can see, Permafrost Bolt is not there. Maybe it could get there, but I'm just not freezing enough. Just not freezing enough. Where I freeze a lot more. Like, I can freeze multiple things at a time, as you can see. I can blow multiple things up at a time.